Hey guys, it's Miss Mullen here. I am out today again. My daughter is still not feeling well, but I'm going to go through this notes page with you today. You need to finish your two-part study guide from yesterday if you did not before you do this. After that, you need to be following along and keep both of those pages. They're both going to be grades, but we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so we are going to look at composing figures tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be back and we're going to do lesson 8 and 9. They're a little bit trickier, so that's why we're doing lesson 10 right now. All right, angles of an isosceles triangle. So an isosceles triangle is where two sides have the same measurements here. So here is a triangle. Reflect triangle ABC over line AB and label the image of C as C prime. So you need to get your tracing paper. If you do not have any, you can use a sticky note that the sub can give you on my desk. I'm going to go ahead and trace over my triangle of A, B, and C. So it says reflect this triangle over line AB. So I'm reflecting it over that line. So whenever I reflect it over, I put AB right back where it was right here. And so A, B, and then C now will be right here. I'm going to go ahead and connect. So now on my triangle, I have C prime over here because it said label the image of C as C prime. All right, so we have done that first one. Now it says rotate triangle ABC prime, so the one we just made, so we have A prime and B prime, because we just did that, around A so that C matches up with B. So what that's saying is I have triangle ABC. I rotate it around A, so my center of rotation is going to be A, so that C prime matches up with B. So whenever I do that, my center of rotation is right here. Okay, C prime has to match up with B. So that just takes me right back to my original figure. So all I'm going to put there is when that happens, I just go back to original. So like the original figure is what I'm saying. All right, it says, what can you say, I'm going to check that off because we've done that. What can you say about the measures of angles B and C? So B and C is kind of what they're asking of. Okay, so B and C are going to be the same angle measure. So they are the same. Neither, I'm just writing this before I kind of talk. Neither the rotation nor reflection change the angle measurements. So what I'm saying there is that whenever we did our reflection and we did our rotations, these angles of B and C, of B prime and C prime, are going to stay the same because it's a rigid transformation. It is not changing size. Okay. All right, now let's look down here to our next one. So it says here's triangle ABC. It says draw a midpoint M of side AC. Okay, so between A and C, it says draw a midpoint of M. Now, I could kind of get like some paper here if I wanted, and I could mark, just so I know it's right in the middle, I could kind of mark there. So when these two sides, I'm just using what I got. When these two sides meet right here, I know that would be my midpoint. So I'll line up A and C, and where that crease is, so my midpoint is going to be right there, and label it as M. So we have done that first part. All right, so it says rotate triangle ABC 180 degrees. So there's our degrees using center M. There's our center of rotation to form triangle CDA. Draw and label this triangle. So if you don't have room on your paper, you can just erase. And remember, on these videos, you can always pause if you need to. All right, so I have my triangle Remember, if sticky note is not large enough, you can use a piece of paper. Just use what you have. Everyone should have that trace paper though. All right, so it says rotate triangle ABC 180 degrees. Now, it doesn't matter since it's on the center clockwise or counterclockwise. I'll kind of show you. So our center is here. And remember how I know 180 is I kind of draw my lines like that. So I can go 90, and then if I go to 180. All right, so we are matching up there. So that was clockwise there. Now, if I went back and I went counterclockwise, if I go 90, 180, it's going to end up being the same thing, okay? So, because I'm using a center here. So, it says draw and label to form triangle CDA. All right, so ABC and CDA are going to be the same thing. All right, so A, B, C, and this will be, when I rotate it, C, okay, because A, I'll write it right here, A, B, C, C, D, A. That means A and C are corresponding, B and D are going to be corresponding, and C and A. So whenever I rotate it, my new points are going to be here. So now will be A right there, and then I will have C down here and D up here. Okay, so A, just going to kind of put my point there to kind of see where it's at to make sure. All right, so now whenever I draw this figure here, remember I know it's by hand, so it may be a little off. So I have A, D, C. Okay, so I have drawn the triangle and I've labeled it. It did not matter if I went counterclockwise or clockwise. It says what kind of quadrilateral, so four-sided figure, is A, B, C, D? Explain how you know. All right, so I have two sets of parallel sides, right? So it is a parallelogram. The 180-degree rotation around M takes AB, so AB, to CD. So these are parallel. Move that down so you can see. It also takes BC, so BC, to AD. So these lines are parallel. So whenever you have a line and it rotates 180 degrees, it is going to be parallel to the line right there. Okay, so it's going to be still going to be side to side if you're using a center. Okay. All right, go ahead and flip over your page here. Make sure I'm getting some stuff to the side. All right, so we are on this side now, right here. Move my camera back. There we go. All right, so triangle plus 2 here. All right, so the picture shows 3 triangles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, triangle 2 and 3 are images of triangle 1 under rigid transformation. So we know they're all the same. Okay, and this is my pre-image. So I'm starting with 1, 2, and 3 is what happens after. It says describe a rigid transformation. There's only 3 types. So remember we have translation, reflection, and rotation. That takes triangle 1 to triangle 2. What points in triangle 2 correspond to points A, B, and C in the original triangle? All right, so if I start with triangle 1, so I'm going to have to, this is going to be a different triangle. It's not the same. So I'm just going to use this side of my paper instead of erasing. So this is what I'm starting with. Okay, I have A, B, C. All right, so it says describe a rigid transformation that takes triangle 1 to triangle 2. All right, so if I look at that, like if I reflected it across this line, that is not what's happening. It's not a reflection. Okay, if I just slide it, it's not a translation because that does not match up. So it is definitely probably going to be a rotation. All right, now, if I figure out how to rotate that, I'm just going to put my pin down over here. Okay, so it's not there. Now, they are right next to each other, so it's probably going to be around this line. All right, so if I rotate, okay, that's pretty close there. Okay, so I probably need to move down just a little bit more. All right, perfect. So when I am going through with this, I definitely use a center point of M here. Okay, so because it's a parallel line here, so I used point M. Now, whenever I am doing that, whenever I rotate it, let me back that up. Okay, my degrees, I have to know my degrees. So I'm going to go counterclockwise. I'm going to go 90, 180. Okay, because my grid lines are matching back up. So what I'm going to put down here is that I did a 180 degree rotation using midpoint M as center of rotation. Okay, now it asks also what points in triangle 2 correspond to points A, B, and C. All right, so when I have my triangle that I started with here, and I rotated it, okay, so C is now where A is now where C is, and B is now where D is. All right, so point C corresponds to A, D, and B. All right, so when I say correspond here, okay, it's asking what points in triangles 2 correspond to points A, B, and C in the original triangle. All right, so point C corresponds to A. That's the first one. D corresponds to B. And A corresponds to C. Because when I rotate it, I'll do it one more time. Okay, so what I wrote down there is A corresponds to C, right here. A corresponds to C. B corresponds to D. And then C went to A. So those are our corresponding points. All right, so this is going to be part 1 of this video. Part 2, I'm going to start a new video so the length won't be too long for when I upload it.